Welcome to the series where we play through every Harry Potter game chapter by chapter. This is the final episode for year 1. Each game has a final boss battle to cover at the end of last episode's Dungeon Gauntlet. In the PS1 version, Harry enters a room to encounter the masked and hooded Voldemort that has tried to kill him throughout. He stands on the other side of a chasm and brings suits of armor to life to fight Harry, then materializes a big one. After Harry defeats this last knight with Flipendo, the subterranean room partially collapses, and the villain is unmasked as none other than Professor Quirrell. But Flynn said this man was Lord Voldemort. What's going on? Quirrell flees into the next room, and Harry can now follow across the gap filled with rubble. In the other versions, Quirrell wears no disguise. PC Harry sees Quirrell, and after some parkour, follows him into a hall. Here Quirrell stands and fights, casting green spells to damage Harry. Harry can use Flipendo blocks as cover to make his way up to the ledge, but Quirrell can push them back too. Harry makes it up to the ledge and Quirrell falls back to the other room. In every other version, Harry enters the final chamber, finding Quirrell with the Mirror of Erised, though the mirror isn't there on Game Boy Advance. Across the games we get bits and pieces of Quirrell's confession and the explanation from the book and film.
That day, during the Quidditch match, Snape tried to kill me.
No, dear boy. I tried to kill you. And trust me, if Snape's cloak hadn't caught fire and broken my eye contact, I would have succeeded. Even with Snape muttering his little counter-curse.
Not every detail is included, like Quirrell being the one who broke into Gringotts and let the trolls on Halloween, but at least the former can be deduced. In the Game Boy Color version, he ties Harry up like in the book. He sees the stone, that which he desires, in the mirror, but doesn't know how to get it. At this point in the 2003 version, Quirrell summons some crocodilian-looking guy classes, which have ranged attacks over the normal ones Harry's fought before. This fight is by far the worst out of any of the games, as Quirrell is protected by a shield and only lets it down to summon new monsters, with a narrow window of time to Flipendo him and prevent him from summoning another damage sponge Harry has to chip away at with Loomis. After Harry puts Quirrell on the defensive, the professor decides he might as well let Harry live for now and invites Potter to look in the mirror. In other versions, he doesn't have this change of plan, letting Harry look into the mirror to find out where the stone is. Harry sees himself with the stone in his pocket, and realizing he really does have it, lies about what he sees in some of the games, but a third voice knows Harry has the stone.
He has the stone.
Give me the stone.
In the Game Boy Color version, Quirrell and Harry have a proper wizard's duo, with Quirrell using various spells Harry has learned throughout the game against him. In contrast to the music of the other games, Quirrell's boss theme has an understated, subtly melancholic tone, less intense than the other battle themes in the game. This suits his character better than the epic choral boss themes Jeremy so made for the other games. After being defeated in ZBC, or as soon as the voice calls out that
He has the stone,
Quirrell removes his turban to reveal the face of Lord Voldemort on the back of his head, his master who has tasked him with stealing the Philosopher's Stone. Harry must now fight literally the man behind the man. Since there's no mirror to investigate on Game Boy Advance, Voldemort reveals himself and attacks Harry immediately. Harry cannot harm him with any spell, but the boss shoots green orbs that can destroy the pillars holding up the room. Once they are gone, rather than the ceiling, the floor collapses, and they fall down into the Mirror of E17, where the mirror can reflect the boss's spells back at him. He also levitates rocks to bludgeon Harry with. Harry can use Flipendo to destroy the rocks and rotate the mirror if needed. Once the final boss's snake health bar has been depleted by his own reflected curses, he comes into close contact with Harry, who faints. The Mirror of E17 is important in all the final battles in non-LEGO games. As for the LEGO games, in the portable version, Quirrell never takes off his turban, although Voldemort's possession is still identified. Harry must use Incendio to light torches and uncover glows in the floor, and then destroy counterweights to cause these massive presses to fall on top of his defense against dark arts teacher. Quirrell suffers a brutal end, and Harry walks back to the Mirror of the Stone. Harry's vision of his parents congratulates him, but Voldemort's ghost causes him to faint, though without a body he cannot lay a finger on the stone and must leave in defeat, unable to die nor live. In the main LEGO version, the head on Quirrell's body turns so Voldemort is in front, and he sets the room on fire. Harry must dodge bolts of fire and then use Wingardium Leviosa to redirect conjured ghostly green heads at Voldemort, and then jump across fire and lava to touch Voldemort's face to damage him. This is the only game to have Voldemort always burn from Harry's touch. Some games have Voldemort damage Harry if touched. Harry burns Voldemort out of Quirrell's body, and then the same cutscene of his vengeful disembodied spirit plays. In the PC version, Voldemort's head also turns to be in front, and he sets the room on fire like in the movie and main LEGO Harry Potter version.
Die, Voida.
Harry must cast Flipendo on the pillars to knock them onto his foe. Eventually, Lord Voldemort will destroy the remaining pillars to counter Harry's strategy. Now Harry must use the mirror, which Flipendo can rotate if necessary, to reflect Voldemort's attacks back at him. But he can also do that and just cast a spell that goes through the mirror. Voldemort is defeated from his own reflected spell, Harry faints, and Dumbledore arrives on the scene. In the 2003 version, after Harry lies about what he sees in the mirror, Voldemort reveals himself as usual and lights the room on fire here too. Harry again sees his parents in the mirror, tethered by a magical bond that protects him from Voldemort's direct attacks, and allows him to reflect these ground-cracking spells back at the Dark Lord. There are also pillars here that continually create stone bows, which Voldemort can attack Harry with, bypassing his parents' protection.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Harry can also trick Voldemort into attacking the pillars, which reduce the amount of bows he can.
Wingardium Leviosa.
After magic fails to harm Harry, Quirrell seizes Harry with his own hands and gets burnt and turned to stone. Like in the film, the Quirrell statue crumbles and Voldemort's ghost passes through Harry, knocking him unconscious. In the Game Boy Color version, Voldemort is very strong, so the best way to defeat him is use effects to stun and poison him. Anticlimactic, but there's no way Harry could take him in a fair fight without grinding up to a high level. After being defeated, he charges at Harry, oddly making the same sound as a GBA troll, and Harry faints. The PS1 final battle has been saved for last due to being incredibly cursed. First, like in the PC version, Harry must cast Flipendo to knock pillars onto the boss, though from the same side, no hiding behind it. In addition to casting damaging spells, Quirrell/Voldemort will cast the spell to tie Harry up like Quirrell did in the book and ZBC game, before releasing him to look in the mirror. Harry needs to mash a button to escape his bonds here. After the mirrors are gone, Harry must cast Flipendo into the double-sided mirror, then again to release it out the other side, having been somehow magnified. Lastly, Quirrell will push Harry to the ground, and buttons must be rapidly pressed to fight back. Quirrell burns from Harry's touch now, though Harry walking into him earlier in the fight doesn't hurt the boss. I think Quirrell being defeated by Flipendo, the very first spell he taught Harry in the GBA and PC games, is thematic excellence. It symbolizes the professor's hubris and failure at committing evil, in contrast to his good deeds as a teacher. Having these two games both begin with Quirrell teaching Harry Flipendo, and ending with Harry defeating him with Flipendo, furthers Quirrell's parallels to Janus, the two-faced god of beginnings and endings. Harry wakes up in the hospital wing with Dumbledore. The wizard explains to Harry that he and Nicholas Flamel have decided to destroy the Philosopher's Stone. Dumbledore acknowledges that Voldemort could still return in other ways.
Dumbledore nodded, sharing his concern. Nevertheless, Harry, if our battles do no more than slow Voldemort's return, with luck he may never regain his power at all.
On Game Boy Color, Dumbledore reveals that he gave Harry his father's invisibility cloak. James Potter had saved Snape's life previously, which is why Snape protected Harry despite hating him. The Mirror of Erised was set up to give the stone only to one who did not want to use it. In the PC version, Ron gives Harry a wizard card of himself if all the other cards had been collected. In all versions, Harry gets hospitalized, except the 2003 game, where he awakes in his common room. He still meets Dumbledore, but the headmaster is only there to award Harry, Ron, and Hermione 10 house points each. Though Gryffindor was already in the first place in my playthrough. Since Dumbledore's lines are split, I wonder if he would have given more house points if Gryffindor was behind. Finally, in all the non-LEGO games, it's time for the House Cup ceremony in the Great Hall. Dumbledore awards a total of 170 points to Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Neville in the book, film, and GBC game. Though Gryffindor had slipped far behind all the other houses despite being in the lead not that long ago in my playthrough, and was still in last place after Dumbledore gave these points. The other heads of house are Snape,
Sprouts!
and Flitwick, who in later games has stolen other teachers' lessons. All three of them must have crookedly made excuses to award hundreds of points to their house's students. Professor Quirrell was, in contrast, a fair teacher despite everything against him. Game Boy Advance Dumbledore awarded 60 points to Harry alone, but Slytherin apparently still had the high score. This version gives you no idea of the final point totals. Slytherin won the House Cup in both Game Boy versions I played, but it's still clearly a happy ending. In the 2003 version, Gryffindor still would have won without the 30 points, but it still shows Slytherin banners changing to Gryffindor. Maybe it's because Slytherin won the House Cup last year? The PC version has Slytherin always in the lead, so the scene can play out as like the book, with Dumbledore rigging Gryffindor to win over Slytherin. Dumbledore gives 60 points to Harry alone before the narrator claims it was enough. Presumably Gryffindor suspiciously earned hundreds of points while Harry was hospitalized. The PS1 version, after the exact same scene, shows the player's actual house point score. Gryffindor still won for me. This is where the games end, without the train trip back to the Dursleys. Before the credits roll on PC though, we see Snape walk into his office, where Bertie Bott's beans burst out of the cupboards and flood it courtesy of Fred and George Weasley. The twins accepted beans from Harry in several games, but only the PC version reveals why. Richard Griffiths and Colin Robinson worked on this game? Anyway, before any Chamber of Secrets videos are made, I will upload 3 other videos. A tier list of these 7 games, a funny moments out of context compilation, and a big first year timeline video. Thank you for watching all the way through. 17 fold if you've watched from chapter 1.